Alright, real quick, I just want to do a quick intro. I know the video is already long enough, but I just want to say a few things. So for one, I originally did not intend on putting this on YouTube. It was supposed to be just a stream thing, but apparently a lot of people want me to upload this to YouTube. So I felt it would be weird if I just uploaded the highlights straight from Twitch to YouTube without any like context on what's going on. So that's why I'm doing this intro here. So yeah, this was intended for the live stream, and I am actually doing it for YouTube. Next thing, this is a fan fiction, so some people might not know what a fan fiction is. You can figure out really quickly if you just search on YouTube. Fan fiction reading basically is when a fan or a viewer, subscriber, whatever, makes up a story about their favorite, YouTuber, with another YouTuber that they may like, or another character, and it traditionally it gets pretty romantic, I guess. It gets pretty juicy. So with that being said, this is intended for mature audiences only. So if you are watching this without headphones and there's people around you, I'd highly recommend putting on some headphones, things like that. And if you are sensitive to sexual subjects, then it might not be for you. All right, just saying. And yeah, last couple things here. For one, I'm not good at reading, so this might be cringy for people that have higher than a high school level reading, because my reading level is like 4th grade. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So sit back, relax, put some headphones on, get your lube ready, and enjoy. Alright, guys, we're good. Victory. The word shone boldly on the screen as the ended battle slowly faded in the background. Nice. Yes, Aaron smirked. Aaron is me. If you don't know, my name is Aaron. Yes, Aaron smirked happily as he replayed a few of the best moments in the game in his head. He played Athena as his teammates chose Nox and Neith, and together they annihilated the enemy team consisting of Kabrakan, Rama, and Alpwash. He checked his score, doing more damage. I can't read chat, guys. If I read chat, I'm gonna fucking tilt my face off. He checked his score. We're not getting the choking part yet. He checked his score, doing more damage than anyone on the enemy team. He types GG, noticing the screen of Athena shouting in victory, her right leg standing on the throat of the Cyclops as she raises her spear in triumph. He was using her red star skin, the fluffy bottom of the dress barely covering her, leaving it to the imagination of the player to visualize what hides just in the shadow between her legs. Alright, we're not even getting to the juicy bit. I'm already... gotta keep a straight face. He clicked the exit button, stating to his viewers that the stream is ending and for everyone to have a good night. He gets a lot of people replying back saying night, good games, sleep well. He smiles to himself, the stream hitting a record today of 45 viewers. I would like to have reached that record. I don't think we made it there yet. He shut down his computer and turned off his light. Time for bed. The stream ran a little longer today. The clock on his phone was reading 12:32 a.m. He pulled off his shirt and cool air hitting his bare skin. He allowed himself a moment to feel the heat of his body being cooled down before sliding off his pajamas bottoms. Leaving him only in his boxers, he kicked off his socks before laying down in his bed, the sheets cold. He sighed as he took off his glasses, ready to make the next video to post on YouTube once he woke up. Sleep came quickly for him, his mind drifting off into a dream. This is like 7 pages, guys. Hoping to get some juicy bits in here. The scenery was familiar, lush greenery surrounding him with floating boulders in the sky. In front of him was the back of a large statue of a creature, what looked like mold on its edges. He could hear running water like a waterfall, an enormous tree to his left, and open the sky and to his right. He knew this place. It was the Joust map and Smite. Alright, guys. In the distance, he heard a battle cry and the sounds of metal clashing. against his better judgment. All right. He walked through the lush grass over the pet. He decided to investigate. Why people always investigating? Cobblestone Creek. He saw the phoenix, more beautiful in person than in game. It looked at him before opening its majestic wings. The blue feathers shining in the sunlight. He took off flying in the circle before landing again. Aaron would have marveled at the detail of the bottom of the phoenix a little longer. But he heard the sound of metal clashing getting louder. He turned his gaze towards the sound, walking towards the wall to his left. He pressed his palms against the smooth surface, his bare feet edging him forward. He hid behind a rock beside the wall and a massive tower to his right. Gotta stay hydrated. You know it. Hopefully this picks up. There in the middle lane stood two gods, Athena and Terra. Ooh. Each looked like they were breathing heavily, their chests rising and falling quickly. Athena stood behind her minions proudly as Terra looked hardly able to stand. As the minions finished each other off, Athena went down into an attack pose, her left leg in the front of her as her back leg bent to an elegant pose. There's some typos in here, Emily. Not Emily. Amber. Shout out to Emily, though. He could see her fishnet stockings. He could only imagine what lies hidden as her legs were spread wide as her knees bent. Athena charged up before dashing forward and barely missing behind, smashed two together. What? Barely missing behind, smashed together by two standing stones from Terra, gotcha, that formed on either side of her. Only able to see the back of Terra, he envisioned her sculling. He had a clear view of her backside, her thick thighs, powerful, lunging her forward. Her half skirt flying up, just barely hiding her plump butt. The two women collided with each other, their full breasts pressing hard against each other. Athena's red star shield knocking hard into the flat belly of Terra, knocking the large lady off balance. Athena slammed her spear down with great power before summoning a circle of Athenian warriors. Terra went to back up, but Athena was ready with a taunt that pulled her back into the middle. The warriors dealing high damage to her. Yeah, that's fucking true. Terra fell backward, her long hair flowing as she landed on the ground. A tomb formed from the earth, sculpting? She got tombed, basically. I don't know what that other word is. I'm sorry, I'm fucking 7. Athena lifted her left leg, her heeled boot stomping triumphantly down on the edge of the tomb as she cried out in victory. So, Athena won the 1v1 versus Terra. Nice. Alright. Aaron could see clearly the shadow that still hid what lay between her legs. The fishnet stockings disappearing beneath the fluffy white fur at the bottom of her tight-fitted brown dress. Despite the heat of the sun, Athena... The fuck is that? Athena emanated? Oh, Amber, you're above my fucking reading level. Sorry. Athena emanated a snowy, chilled mist around her. The tomb was swallowed up into the ground after a few moments. Athena let out a sigh before finally noticing her scepter. Getting a little tilted right now, guys. Sorry. Aaron froze as she narrowed her eyes suspiciously. They held gazes as a few long moments before she started walking towards him. Her high-heeled boots left behind almost a snow print that immediately melted as she walked. Close in the distance, quickly between them, Aaron ran his eyes down her body as she grew closer. He noticed her large breasts barely contained under her form-fitting dress. The gold buttons pulling the fabric tight over her narrow waist and accentuating her large hips. His eyes lingered on her fishnet stockings as she stopped in front of him. She cleared her throat his eyes moving toward her crystal blue eyes. Oh boy. "Who are you?" she asked, her thick Russian accent heavy with suspicion. "You're not someone I have battled before, and I've battled many." Aaron didn't know how to answer that at first, his mind racing with thoughts of him having the same fate as Tara. Damn right. "I am not from around here," he finally managed to stutter out. Her powerful aura emanate. What the fuck is that word? A powerful aura from her body. So, Athena has one hell of a fucking aura that makes you. Humph. "You are human, no? Why are you not puny like minions?" Athena asked, eyeing him. He felt her eyes move down his body, becoming extremely aware that he still only wore his boxers. Really? Really, Amber? I'm still... Alright. "You do not look ready for battle. You must be a servant sent here to clean up. Come." Alright, I'm serving now, boys. Athena motioned for him to follow her. In order to keep peace, he followed. His eyes fell to her rear end, so plump under her dress, he felt himself unable to look away as she walked. Yes, her hips swaying side to side. She stopped when they reached the area he had first arrived at, the sound of a small waterfall and tweeting birds getting louder as they drew closer to the pond by the big tree. Athena stopped in front of the pond before turning to look at Aaron. He quickly brought his gaze back up to her eyes. "You help me clean up," she stated. Aaron had to take a moment to grasp what she meant before finally realizing the dirt and dust clung to her clothing and body. Yay. She held out her shield and spear for him to take. He grabbed the shield first, immediately losing his balance as it fell hard to the ground. "Are you not strong?" Athena asked. Is that a word? Quizzically? Alright. Raising an eyebrow at him. Aaron blinked several times. That thing must weigh a ton. He can barely lift it off the ground. We finished 2 pages so far, guys. Oh man, what am I doing with my life? "Here, I do." She took the shield and spear and laid them against the wall. Aaron felt embarrassed as she walked back over to him. She stood directly in front of him, inches away. He looked down, his eyes landing on her full breast, the dress barely hiding what he wished he could have seen. Her next words would nearly stopped his heart. "Undress me," she ordered. Oh boy, guys. Oh boy. He felt the heat of his body rise as he processed her words. He stood there slightly for too long because she shifted the weight of her body to one leg impatiently. "You understand me," she barked. Oh boy. Alright. Aaron nodded. His hands moved quickly to grab at the buttons on her dress. Logic told him that the buttons should be able to be undone to get the dress off. His fingers fumbled for a moment, his mind acutely aware of how close his hands were to her breast. He undid the first gold button at the top of her... Oh boy. He undid the first golden button at the top of her dress, right below her right breast. He sucked his... he sucked in his breath as his dress opened a little, her breasts ready to fall out. Let him loose. He undid the next button below the first one, then dress loosening around her waist. He undid the third and fourth one, her silky skin of her stomach peeking through. He furrowed his brow as the furry part of the dress did not come undone. Her breast behind covered by the loosely hanging fabric. Alright, I need a moment here. Okay, guys. Athena lifted her arms and he's... Alright. Athena lifted her arms and he understood. His hands shook slightly as his fingers fumbled to get a good hold on the furry bottom of the dress. He gulped as he felt his fingers graze against her milky skin. So soft, he thought to himself. He felt the fishnet stockings as he moved along the edges of the outside of her hips to begin to pull down the dress. Her eyes drank in her body as it was revealed the top of her thighs. The fishnet stockings, the only thing that remains on her lower half. He pulled the dress higher, her flat stomach becoming visible. Her skin looked so smooth and touchable. He felt himself growing hard. He tried not to think about the sudden rush of heat to his manhood as he lifted the dress, as he lifted the dress to her breast. Oh, guys. He paused for a brief moment. The bun of her oh, this is difficult. He paused for a brief moment. The bottom of her breast slightly visible. He gulped again before pulling again. Her round breast came into view with the soft pink nipples perfectly suckable. Nice one, Amber. He shook his head, clearing his mind as he finished pulling the dress over her head. She stood there, no sign of bashfulness, her fishnet stockings stopping just below her belly button, a black piece of fabric covering her womanhood. She removed her beret from her head and sat down on a large rock, her legs pressed together as she twisted her body to lay down her hat on the ground. Perfectly suckable. Exactly, guys. It's a fucking new meme now. All right, guys. We gotta tough through this. Aaron quickly turned to try to hide his bulge by tucking it into the hem of his boxers. Good move. When he turned back, she was just starting to face him again. He grinned nervously as she slowly lifted her right leg. He looked down at her booted foot. His hands firmly grasped her boot, pulling it off with little effort, revealing her long leg, slender leg. I think that's another typo, or you got legs in here like twice. All right. He felt a throb in his lower area when her fishnets adorned. All right. He felt a throb in his lower area when her fishnet-adorned foot grazed his knee when she lowered it to the ground. She brought her other leg up and he pulled the boot off, this time a little slower. Her skin so smooth. He finished pulling off her boot, setting it down. When he brought his head back up, he was face to face with her pelvic area. Nice. Her stomach glistening from the mist created by the small waterfall beside them. Ooh, hit a nice scenery there. Next page. She smelled sweet, like roses with a hint of winter, like the smell when fresh snow fell during the night and you open the door, refreshing. She stood patiently waiting for him to do something. It finally clicked that he was supposed to remove her fishnet stockings. He felt another throb, this one more intense as he lifted his hands to her hips. He hooked the top of the fishnets with 2 fingers before slowly pulling them down. He felt the fabric bunch up as he tugged the stocking down her hips. Her skin felt so cool on his fingertips. He could see the goosebumps forming on her porcelain skin. He had not noticed before either with her breathing had become a little more labored and when he glanced up at her, he noticed that her hips are... Alright, guys. He noticed that her it's not even hips, it's nips. I'm not ready for this, guys. Let's get through this. He noticed that her nips are hardened a little, looking even more succulent. Succulent. He turned his attention back to her pelvic region as the fishnet stockings were nearly her feminine area. He could sense she was a tad nervous when he went to pull the fishnets down, put the fishnets down, caught between her legs. She, a little shakily, spread her legs just wide enough to allow the fabric to move past down her thighs before closing them back up. But it was too late. Aaron has already seen a glimpse of her lips that are always in the shadow in the game. Another painful throb as he pulled the stocking down further, noticing how her pelvic area formed a perfect V where her legs met. He allowed his fingers to press a little harder into her firm skirt of her thighs, and he swore he heard a small giggle when he brushed the back of her knees. Oh God. He grinned. She was ticklish. Hey. He got to her feet and held the stockings in place as she pulled one foot out at a time, working hard to keep her private area hidden. She draped her right arm over the crowns of her breast, attempting to hide what was already been seen. She cleared her throat before turning and stepping into the water. She hissed as what he imagined was very cold water lapped into her ankles. His gaze traveled down her back, resting on her. His gaze traveled down her back, resting on her plump buttocks. He licked his lips, another painful throb. If it's painful, that's something wrong, man. I need a drink of water. Yeah, be sure to wear headphones, guys. She walked a little further in, the water coming up to her waist before she turned to look at him. "You help me bathe, no?" she asked, her arm still draped over her breast. Aaron stumbled for words, his mind racing with raunchy thoughts. He wanted to step into the water before she held up her hand and pointed at his boxers. "You want to get your clothing wet? I notice you wear little, but so does Zeus, but hey." Athena shrugged. Shoutouts to Zeus. Aaron felt his cheeks beginning to flush as he gripped the top of... Aaron felt his cheeks beginning to flush as he gripped the top hem of his boxers, nervous to pull them down. Athena just stood there, waiting for the sun glistening through the leaves of the tree, causing the water to sprinkle, reflecting off of her skin. He pulled them down, acutely aware of his throbbing cock as it poked out. Athena momentarily looked stunned at its size and thickness before casting her gaze to the water. All right, guys. What's up, Borser? You caught me at a bad time. Aaron allowed his boxers to fall to the ground before stepping out. He stepped into the water and gasped at how chilly it was, but also relieved that at a suit. He stepped into the water and gasped at how chilly it was, but also was relieved at how soothed his heated skin. As it soothed his heated skin. Oh man. Hit her with thunder. Jessica knows, hit her with thunder. Next page. Athena watched him as he drew closer. Athena watched him as he drew closer to her before turning and going deeper into the water. Aaron watched as she undid her hair, the long blonde locks falling down her back, hitting the water. She looked so godly, standing there as she shook her... She looked so godly, standing there as she shook out her hair, the water glistening around her. She turned towards him, motioning with one finger to come closer. Ooh. We're getting it in, guys. Aaron did it. Oh, God. We gotta get through this. Aaron did as he was told, coming closer, still painfully aware of how erect he was. the cool water not doing enough to simmer down his raging desire. They were both chest deep in water, Athena's breast barely hidden by the surface. "You bathe me," Athena spoke, her voice trying to sound regal and strong, but he caught a hint of nerves. Aaron dipped his hands in the water before bringing them up to her hair, pushing it to the side to expose her back. The skin was so smooth, so soft, as he gently began wiping at the dirt. The impurities ran off her body as his fingers gently began to massage her tight shoulders. She let out a small moan, another painful throb, and she jumped a little. "What was that?" she whispered. Oh. Oh, God. "Nothing. Just relax." Aaron coaxed his fingers. Oh, God. "Nothing. Just relax." Aaron coaxed as his fingers worked their way down her back, messaging every muscle. Massaging. It says messaging, Amber. Typo. Massaging every muscle. "I'm sure you're tired and sore." "Very," she replied, her head slightly lolling to the side as another moan escaped her lips. Another throb, and he felt the tip of his erection press against her butt cheek. She jumped again, this time turning her body to face him. I can't look at chat, guys. I'm gonna fucking burst out laughing. "I felt it again." Or, try that again. "I felt it again." She looked open. I can't do voices. "I felt it again." She looked up into his eyes, so full of mixture of emotions that he couldn't quite make out. He felt the water being pushed around his lower extremities before he felt her fingers graze his penis. They both gasped out of shock, him out of pleasure. Or her out of shock, him out of pleasure. She looked confused for a moment before gripping his throbbing erection, and it took everything in him to keep his balance. I hope my Twitch does not get deleted. "What is..." She trailed off before looking down, her cheeks flushed bright red before quickly letting go, her body falling backwards into the water as her foot slid off the rock she was standing on. Alright. Alright. She flailed for a moment, trying to come to the surface. Aaron quickly reached out, pulling her by her hand back to the surface. Their bodies pressed together. He could feel every curve against his chest, her erect nipples brushing against his skin. Her chest rose and fell quickly as she tried to regain her breath, her hair sticking to her face, soaping wet. He felt his erection poking into the gap between her legs. Could feel her lips pressed against the top. It took a moment for her to realize that the new predicament, her body going stiff. He could almost hear her trying to work out a plan in her head to detach herself from him. He slid his right hand up her side, feeling goosebumps forming on her damp skin as he traced a finger along her cheekbone. She looked up at him, eyes wide with what was clearly shock and curiosity and what could only be lust. He pushed her hair out of her face, feeling her plump lower lip with his thumb. Ooh. Ooh. She seemed hesitant before gently kissing his thumb, and he felt another throb, and this time she didn't jump away. Next page. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. All right. Next page, you guys. She begins to whisper before he placed his index finger of her lip, quietly hushing her. He then lifted her chin, and then lips met. Getting it in, boys. At first, it was sweet, gentle, alright. At first, it was sweet, gentle before they both started pressing harder against each other. Her lips parting, and he found himself unable to stop his tongue from entering her mouth. She allowed the invasion, her tongue playing with his as both their breathing sped up. I got a fucking message on Twitter. Please stop. Alright, where'd I leave off? Her body melted into his. She brought her legs up under the water to wrap around his waist. His erection rubbing against her womanhood, he could only feel the wetness from the water mixed with her own juices. She pulled back, catching her breath from the battle within their mouths. She trailed off, and he knew what she meant. She was nervous, but also extremely aroused, her skin flushing as she looked up at him. Her blue iris never seemed so clear of her tint, and it took everything in him to not just take her now, make her his. Okay. He lifted her over to the boulder that was just above the surface of the water before setting her down. She sat there, legs untangled from him and pressed together. He gently coaxed them open, and she obeyed, allowing his push to guide her legs to spread. She was beautiful, her lips parting, the water drops running down her smooth-shaven area. Her small pink clit was hard, and he went straight for it. Get in there. As soon as his lips made contact, this is tough, guys. As soon as his lips made contact, and one flick of the tongue, her back arched, letting out a moan. Aaron, what the fuck am I doing? Aaron felt his pulse racing as he licked her clit. Her juices getting onto his face, she moaned louder, her body wriggling, her hands gripping the edge of the boulder. He brought his hand up, his finger gently prodding at the entrance to her vagina, so hot, so tight. He couldn't control himself. He pulled her back under the water with him, sliding her pussy down his body, stopping to suck on her nipple. His fingers ran through her. Fuck, guys, fuck. What am I doing? Her fingers ran through his hair as she watched him suck, wrapping her legs around his lower torso. "Please, take me," she whispered seductively, and he lost it. He slid her the rest of the way down, his dick throbbing as he tried to find the hole. It's always difficult. She reached down, grabbing hold of his thickness, pushing it into the entrance. He gently prodded the entrance, teasing her with the head. She threw her head back, moaning loudly as he placed butterfly kisses down her neck. Their hormones were raging, and her body begged for more. It's getting juicy. Nate, please. Nate, please. All right. "Please," she whispered close to his ear, hot and heavy. He thrust all the way in, and she cried out loudly, her back arching, pressing her body against his, her breast pushed up towards him. He gripped her hips, thrusting again, so tight, so warm, so wet. "By the gods," Athena cried out. Or I should have did that a little bit louder. Anyway, "By the gods," Athena cried out, bringing her hands up to grip at his shoulders, nails slightly digging into his skin. He enjoyed the small pain as he thrusted again and again, her breast bouncing in front of him. Okay. He thrust harder and faster as she pulled herself to him. Their bodies could not be close enough as he penetrated her. We gotta have our penetration going, guys. He pulled back to thrust again, pulling too far and slipping out. She took the moment to flip over, lying on her stomach. Her large, thick ass fully Her large, thick ass fully viewable in front of him. He grasped tightly at each cheek, bouncing them a little, pressing them together. He drew a hand back and gave us. Sorry, guys, I'm fucking 12. He drew a hand back and gave a smack to the left cheek. She cried out she cried out in pleasure. Oh God. Oh, last page, guys. Last page. More, she pleaded. More, she pleaded, and he happily obliged. He smacked again, rubbing a slowly forming pink marks. His fingers slipping back inside her, and he couldn't resist again. He positioned himself to thrust back inside of her. She gripped the edges of the boulder tightly. He thrust harder and harder, feeling every curve inside of her. The smacking sound of their bodies meeting, echoing in the small enclave. Enclave? One of those has to be right. He felt himself ready to release as his muscles gripped tighter at his throbbing dick. Athena, I'm going to come soon, he managed to say as he gripped her hair with one hand to pull her towards him. Nice. His body arched as she was pulled up, panting and moaning from the pleasure of him inside her. He wrapped the other arm around her, pitching her hard nipple. Oh, there we go. Oh yes, she cried out as her hand slid down her body to play with her clit while he continued to thrust hard inside of her. He could feel her muscles ready to release, her body begging for me to come inside her. I pulled out and with one We're almost done, guys. I pulled out and with one final hard, deep thrust, I released my load inside of her wet pussy. I'm coming, I said. Gritting teeth. The release rushing through my body as it filled her up. I felt her coming as well, her juices squirting out into the water, her breathing hard. He felt her body completely relaxed against him as he wrapped his arms around her, both their eyes closed. He felt himself slip out of her as they just enjoyed the breeze brushing against their heated skin, their chests rising and falling quickly in sync. When he went to open his eyes again, he was in his room, his covers feeling warm and wet. It was all a dream, boys. It was all a dream.